Are we all set to go?
You're in charge.
Okay.
If you're ready,
All right,
we're ready.
well, welcome historians back to junior level U.S. history class. I hope everyone's excited to continue studying World War I and the decade or so after World War I. Hopefully we're ready to party hard history style today. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start by putting up a picture up here, and hopefully someone in the classroom will be able to tell me who this man is. Do you have any ideas?
W.E.B. Du Bois.
That is W.E.B. Du Bois. Excellent identification skills. Does anyone want to fill us in on who W.E.B. Du Bois is? Does anybody know a little bit about him?
He wrote a lot about, sorry, I'm just totally blanking. Like the racial segregation.
Yep.
And, just his ideas and beliefs on that.
Yeah, he was an African American leader, strong progressive. Anyone else want to add anything? Charlie?
He talked a lot about education for African Americans and that they should have equal opportunity to get higher end jobs just like white people did.
Exactly. Nicely done. He was also the founder of the NAACP, if anyone was interested. Very prominent organization still today. So not bad for a guy who was around over 100 years ago. To begin, I'm going to go ahead and write up on this board 5 words that we will be using. Okay, mark right there, not that good. You guys go ahead and write them down. Why don't you get out a piece of paper and write down 5 words for me. The first word is oligarchy. O-L-I-G-A-R-C-H-Y.
One more time, please.
O-L-I-G-A-R-C-H-Y. Second word is lynching. Third word is disfranchisement. D-I-S-F-R-A-N-C-H-I-S-M-E-N-T. The next word is caste. C-A-S-T-E. And then the final word is slavery. Now these 5 words are going to be appearing in a document written by W.E.B. Du Bois that we're going to be studying here in just a minute. But just to make sure that we all understand the terminology that we're going to be using, we're going to break up, and with your table partner, John, if you want to group up with Joe over there, looks like both of you guys are partnerless right now. We are going to attempt to write 2 sentences, and in each sentence you're going to try to use 2 of the words that I just gave you. So 2 sentences, 2 of those terminology words per sentence, to try to make sense and fit it into a sentence that makes sense and will hopefully help the rest of the class identify the meaning of the words. So go ahead and try.
I'm sorry, I'm ready. You two last 2 words are all of them. I was saying, during times of slavery, there was often. All right.
After slavery. Why would you leave slavery?
All right, during times after slavery.
After slavery.
During and after slavery.
Yeah. Didn't understand the instructions number here. So no
Handwriting with old writing.
Cannot spell president. I can't even actually tell what letters these are.
Everyone doing okay over here? Understand the instructions coming along? Oh, okay. You are going to learn it. We'll get to that.
Thank you.
Luckily we have Mr.
We got this. I know what this is. That's what we're. Alright.
caste system in India, a lot of disenfranchised
African American caste system, but African Americans faced.
I'm not really sure.
Oligarchy. You have a caution pasta dish from Sounds
Yeah, that's what I saw.
not in India, just in India?
Yep.
I'm sorry, what was the other one?
How's everyone feel over here? Still together okay?
Disenfranchised.
I told Sue that asked me to write this July 6th.
Disenfranchised.
Alright, how's everybody coming? We need a couple more minutes. Raise your hand if you could use another minute or two. Okay. Yeah, take 2 more minutes.
Mommy. I'm sorry, I'm really just so you're gonna
That might
Sorry.
be, it's right. You might not be able to get in.
Amongst these. Easy is the only person.
Where'd you get yours? To go get mine.
Doing alright?
I'm excited.
She's the middle school what language department head. She's the tri-high women's head swim coach. I said to her, she wants to go to Stout.
Why am I getting my first pair of glasses for circles? I should be Harry Potter.
Oh, that's awesome. You can do that now. Harry Potter's still prevalent. Did you catch it? I'm gonna get this to you.
Too bad that wasn't one of our words, but still.
So you were happy with your
Quite yet. Don't read them quite yet.
what it's all about.
Alright, has everybody got 2 all-star sentences that they might be willing to share with the rest of the class? Hey, attention up here, ladies and gentlemen. Does anyone have any sentences that they would like to share with the rest of the class that they think they did pretty well in? Go ahead, Terry.
People in slavery were often victims of lynching.
Can you read it one more time?
People in slavery were often victims of lynching.
People in slavery were often victims of lynching. How does that sound to everybody? Seem like an appropriate sentence? Use of terminology? Good. Anybody else? Pete?
Wasn't lynching more prevalent after slavery?
Wasn't lynching more prevalent after slavery? That is true. Is that your sentence as well?
It would work.
It would work. It would work. So, nicely done on 2 fronts.
Yeah.
Brittany, go ahead.
There was a caste system in the United States where African Americans were in slavery.
There's a caste system in the United States where African Americans were in slavery. Good. It seems like we have a pretty decent understanding of the terms. Did anyone use oligarchy or disfranchisement in their sentences? Charlie.
Just enfranchisement. Within America's caste system, African Americans face disfranchisement.
Within America's caste system, African Americans face disfranchisement. Good. Let's take one more.
In the unofficial American caste system, white land-owning men were the oligarchy who gained from slavery.
These are some good sentences. Nicely done, everybody. So, you can go ahead and flip those documents over that I gave everybody. I gave one for every group of 2, and I also have one up here. So what we're going to do is, if we can have somebody read, as long as you would like to, we're going to cut it off right at the black lines that I've drawn on everyone's paper. So, would anyone like to volunteer to read right off the bat? Ross, thank you very much.
We are returning from war. The crisis and tens of thousands of black men were drafted into a great struggle. For bleeding France and what she means and has meant and will mean to us and humanity, and against the threat of German race arrogance, we fought gladly to the last drop of blood. For America and her highest ideals, we fought in far-off hope. For the dominant Southern oligarchy entrenched in Washington, we fought in bitter resignation. For the America that represents and gloats in lynching, disfranchisement, caste, brutality, and devilish insult. For this, in the hateful upturning and mixing of things, we were forced by vindictive fate to fight also.
Good. Would anyone else like to pick up where Ross left off? volunteers, please go ahead.
But today we return from the slavery of uniform, which the world's madness demanded us to don, to the freedom of civil garb. We stand again to look America squarely in the face and call a spade a spade. We sing, this country of ours, despite all its better souls have done and dreamed, is yet a shameful land.
Good, and anyone like to finish? We need a closer. Thank you, Ren.
It lynches, and lynching is a barbarism of a degree of contemptible nastiness unparalleled in human history. Yet for 50 years we have lynched 2 Negroes a week, and we have kept this up right through the war. It disfranchises its own citizens. Disfranchisement is the deliberate theft and robbery of the only protection of the poor against the rich and black against white. The land that disfranchises its citizens and calls itself a democracy lies and knows it lies.
Excellent. Thank you very much. If we could hit the lights, that would be excellent. All right, so after reading this document, does anybody have a better understanding of what oligarchy might mean? Would anyone like to take a shot at defining it for the rest of the class? I'm very good at my wait time. Go ahead.
I think oligarchy has something to do with the like dominant southern white oppression.
Good, good. Yeah, in a contextual sense, that's exactly right. Obviously, around the time, early 1900s, the Southern white oligarchy, the ruling class, essentially rich white men in Washington, had kind of a stranglehold on social customs and everything in the South. Good. Lynching. Would anyone like to try to identify lynching in the context of this document? Go ahead, Brittany. Thank you.
To hang someone?
Hanging someone, yeah. Is it just hanging someone?
Maybe just executing them.
Executing someone, exactly, yep. And in this case, he talks about it in a little bit different sense, but yeah, for all intents and purposes, that's exactly right. Disfranchisement, this is a little bit of a tough one. Anyone want to take a shot?
James, withholding rights from somebody, typically voting.
Withholding rights, typically voting, exactly. Perfect, thank you. Caste system. Carly?
It's like a social hierarchy.
Social hierarchy, perfect, exactly. Kind of ties in with the idea of oligarchy, exactly. And then finally, slavery. Last but not least. James, thank you.
That peculiar institution where one person can own another.
Exactly, yep, slavery. So, exactly, and for your assignment tonight, hopefully you understand the first chunk that we just read in class, and your assignment for tomorrow will be to finish up reading, highlight any terms that you may not understand, and we'll conduct the same lesson tomorrow, the same method, and we'll have a test on this at the end of the week. So, and then teacher face off. This was called Possible Sentences. It's a reading strategy that we use as teachers and as students to identify terminology that we may or may not understand. The idea is to go through a document, select out words that are relevant to understanding the overall meaning of the document. Obviously there's some words in there that are kind of complicated, but I tried to focus more on just the terms that would be relevant in a historical context. So I chose out the 5 most important ones for this short document. And then you put them up on the board, or you have students write them down. They come up with their own sentences, try to fit it in. We read the document, see if that gives us any insight to what the words might mean in this context or in a more broad context. And then the teacher would obviously clarify, fill in any gaps that they've missed. And ideally, by then, you would have a solid understanding of the document as a whole, which I think is very important in a history classroom. When so many times, especially when you're talking maybe about the Revolutionary time, some of that old English language gets very complicated and it's almost a foreign language. So